Hello my soccer universe and welcome to the review of matchday 14 in Serie A. I would love to tell you about great goals, great developments in the league. However, we have to start in Florence. I'm wearing Fiorentina, who again were hit with rather harrowing scenes, this time on the pitch, when after Lautaro Martinez seemingly had to score the go-ahead goal for Inter. In all the discussions, suddenly Fiorentina midfielder Eduardo Bove collapses onto the field. It seemingly was an epileptic attack that resulted in a cardiac arrest. Really scary scenes. And you could see how distraught the players were, and the game was duly abandoned. Then in the 15th minute, even the referee was clearly shocked, as were the Inter players. However, I also want to have a great shout out to both teams that quickly responded, quickly took the right actions, and surrounded Bove, called for the ambulance, made everyone aware. This is serious. We have to do this right now and we have to get this on. And it was pretty clear that this game had to be abandoned. Fortunately, Bove is in relatively good condition. He's out of danger, still in intensive care as far as I know. So at least this is the good ending to a story. And when I think about back in early 18, what happened to Astore, also Fiorentina player who died of cardiac arrest in his hotel room in Udine. Yeah, Fiorentina seemed cursed. Also the sporting director just this year, it happened also. So I can see why everyone at Fiorentina was really emotionally challenged with this situation. Of course, in a very perverse way, this abandonment also played into Napoli's cards, who now could extend the lead over Inter, yes, with a game more, but again to 4 points, which puts more pressure on Inter. Atalanta actually managed to keep up with Napoli, so we still have the title race in a way, but also, Lazio have been falling off now, suffering a shock loss at Parma. Milan, on the other side, get a win. But I want to also put a little focus on Juventus, who are absolutely awful at this moment. At least they keep it defensively tight. But they have so many injuries that one really wonders what is happening with the medical department there. Because even if they wanted, they couldn't even bring on some serious players to turn things around. But they are so lame in attack that it is almost a given that a game of theirs will end in a 0-0. And even if they take a lucky strike to take a lead, still through Cambiaso, he still then loses the ball and allows in the end Rebic to get an equalizer. I would say, after all this, let's just summarize everything that happened in Serie A on this weekend outside of harrowing scenes in Florence. I'm very relieved to say that Milan had a very easy evening on Saturday, beating Empoli at home 3-0, a game that most of the time never really was in doubt. They dominated, did not concede too many chances, although at the first half there was one that looked a little bit scary with defending, but offensively they were just too much for Empoli. Morata tapped home the go-ahead goal already in the 19th minute. Pulisic did miss a good chance, but he also assisted Reinders in the fog, more or less. There's not much that you could see of the goal to make it 2-0 just before the half. More or less settling game. Yes, Empoli hit the crossbar early in the second half, but then it was a nice counter-attack where Reinders just keeps on running. Yes, he doesn't find Leao, but Leao pulls away defenders as well. Reinders takes a shot, 3-0 in the 69th minute. Musa later on misses a fourth goal as well. So yeah, rather convincing without overstretching themselves. This is something that I needed from Milan for such a long time. More of that, please. Let's get some wins. Let's cut the lead on top. On Friday evening, in a major relegation battle, Cagliari get a big 1-0 home win against Verona thanks to Piccoli goal in the 75th minute. We also had a small Lombardy derby on Saturday in the afternoon where Como met Monza. Engelhardt gave Como in the first half the lead that was equalized by a Caprari penalty. However, it was late on. There were chances on both sides, both teams pushing. None can find the winner, but that was quite entertaining at the end. Then on Saturday evening, Bologna get a relatively easy 3-0 win over Venezia. It was Ndoye and an Orsolini penalty that gave them a 2-0 lead, and then the two combined for Ndoye's 3-0. With Patrick Vieira now in charge, Genoa also get another win, 2-0 at Udinese. However, or in the fourth minute, Udinese were reduced to 10 men, and so Pinamonti and an own goal by Giannetti give Genoa big 3 points. None other than McTominay, after being assisted by Quaradonna. Yes, I'm talking about McTominay and Kvaratskhelia, of course. Napoli stayed top of the table with a narrow 1-0 win at Torino. They scored a goal, they have a few more chances, they keep it tight, Torino cannot break through. Napoli remain at the moment the class of the league, and this way, with 1-0 victories, they could well earn themselves a title. We also had a big shocker on Sunday afternoon when Parma beat Lazio at home 3-1, only the third win of the season, but the second one against a big team after beating Milan in round 2. And they were a little bit lucky because Rovella scored a beautiful go-ahead goal already in the second minute. However, there was a foul of his in the build-up, and then Dennis Mann, just a few minutes later, when the VAR review was over, gives Parma the lead. They actually then hit Lazio quite well on the counter-attack, and Haj Mohammad, who also was already involved in the first half within the first goal and also missed a big chance, gets in his first Serie A start, his first Serie A goal in the 53rd minute. Castellanos then slides one in to make it 2-1 for Lazio, but as they're pushing, they concede a third one in stoppage time. This time it's Del Prati, again after Charpentier assist, who already assisted Haj Mohammad before, to give Parma a famous 3-1 win. And on Sunday evening, a late Rebic goal denies Juve another narrow win. Juve concede despite for most of the game not really being bothered, but also not producing much offensively. This Juve team is again really boring to watch. I think the only saving grace is that they're in a rebuilding project that fans can maybe look a little bit past the dross. On Monday evening, Atalanta continued the impressive one with a 2-0 away win at Roma. However, that game was a little bit of a turd, at least at the beginning. Roma stifled the Atalanta attack, which is something that not many teams have achieved this season. Actually had even the better chances, especially one through Paredes that forced Karnesecki into a save. However, there were not that many chances overall, and especially at the beginning of the second half, it was really slow watching. However, Atalanta turned it on a little bit and got the breakthrough when a Teron shot was wickedly deflected in the 69th minute into the net. And that kill of Roma, bar none. And it surely didn't help that Zaniolo, former Roma player, had come off. However, due to his messy exit from Roma, he was out for blood. He badly tried to score his goal, and he got in the 89th minute when a Quadrada corner was whipped in, and Zaniolo with his head scores, and then wildly celebrating from the Atalanta fan curve. I think there was some gesture towards Roma in there as well because of the reaction of Roma players. And right after the kick-off, especially Teron made sure that Zaniolo just goes to the Atalanta fan curve and stays out of trouble, which big credit to him for protecting his teammate. Atalanta just 1 point behind Napoli. I've said it before, this squad is really deep and could absolutely be for real in Serie A this season. Well, I already mentioned in the opening of this video, Napoli and Atalanta stay top of the table because Inter and Fiorentina cannot finish their game. So it remains tight and we still have the 28-point pile-up, but Lazio now have lost, so they're falling behind, and at least one between Inter and Fiorentina is also bound to fall off. And with Juve not picking up points, this also means that the gap of theirs to the top 4 is becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. And if Milan can sort it out, I could see Milan actually leapfrogging Juve. But I also want to put a little bit more emphasis towards the bottom of the table because I skipped over that last time around. The picture becomes a teeny bit clearer, but honestly, everyone from Udinese down potentially could still get relegated or is very much again in the race against relegation. It's just that you need to get the results in. Currently it is Como, Monza and Venezia, where I think that Como and Monza probably have the talent to actually move themselves out of this zone. Then we see Hellas Verona, good start, keep falling. Lecce in there, always on the cusp. Roma, I would exclude them, but you cannot really exclude them after the bad start, but they seem like a more solid team now under Ranieri. So it's more likely that Genoa or Cagliari, potentially even Torino or Parma, Empoli or Udine get in there. The season is long, but I think this bottom race is rather tight. If we look at the odds on the side, Venezia seems to be a goner, but then it is really tight. Como would be the next one, and then actually Hellas Verona. Not looking good at all. Lecce and Cagliari just about surviving. In the midweek, we actually have 4 Coppa Italia fixtures, and apologies, this video will probably post after Bologna kick-off against Monza, but then we already see Milan against Sassuolo. Yes, this is only a Serie B team, but it is the leading team in Serie B, a team that's actually a Serie A team and that has hurt historically Milan in the past 3 years very, very much. Not looking forward to that one. On Wednesday, we actually get an interesting Fiorentina against Empoli matchup, a Tuscany derby, and then Lazio taking on Napoli is probably the biggest matchup of this entire Coppa Italia round. In the league, we get some early games already on Friday. The big one, of course, Atalanta against Milan. Not looking forward to that one. The way that Atalanta is in form, I can only see one winner. We also have a Juventus against Bologna, two further Champions League teams, but that's not gonna be bound to be a great game. And we also get the rematch between Napoli and Lazio on Sunday evening. So every evening has their big games for that, for sure. So that concludes my little review of Serie A. Please let me know what you thought about this round, and especially let me know who do you think will get relegated from this Serie A. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. I'll talk to you soon about more things in my Serie A universe. Bye! Hey there! I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, here are some videos and playlists that you may enjoy too. Also, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the little bell icon so you get notified whenever something happens in my soccer universe. And with that, have a wonderful day. Bye!